And the former Union Commerce Secretary, Ajay Dua, said that India needs to address the issue of trade deficit diligently and effectively. Let's listen in.
You have seen things closely when it comes to India-China trade issues. What is the key issue other than trade deficit, which has, in a sense, created problems between the two countries in terms of trading relations?
I think in terms of trade, we haven't had any other issue other than the trade imbalance. Our growth, two-way trade with China has been growing over the years, to the extent that now China is the biggest importer for us. If we look at the trade deficit issue or the trade imbalance, there the concern has been how do we bridge this gap. And in 2014, when the two prime ministers had met, that summit meeting, at that time it was decided that the two countries will work together on a medium-term plan of 5 years, so that by 2019 we have a balanced trade.
If China doesn't take actions, are there any penal measures which India can take or restrict market access for Chinese goods to India?
I think we are both now signatories to the WTO. Free market, rule-bound trading is what we both sides accept. And in that, unless we can establish that a particular side is selling goods below the cost and it is hurting the other side's economy on a long-term basis, not just one-off deal or so, there are no penal actions as such available. What really has to be seen is that if the Chinese are continuing to export to us certain items, are we hurt or not?
So my final question, what can be a win-win solution between India and China trade? Such a solution in which India, of course, is not flooded by Chinese cheap goods, and of course China gets market access to India in various sectors.
I think the free trade is based on an old principle of economics called comparative advantage. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to be cheaper in one country compared to the other for trade to take place. That within that country, where between the two items or three items, what is advantageous for that country to produce. I think at current point of time, stage of development, we are not yet in the field where sophisticated technology-based items can be exported from India. We are at a stage where intermediate goods, low technology items, probably the Chinese, if we can compete with them on those, the Chinese may be willing to buy those from us while they move a step ahead and get involved with more items which are based on current state-of-the-art technology.